Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Notre Dame Junior Senior High School's virtual open house. We're so pleased that you are joining us here this evening. Just to let you know, this will be recorded and posted on YouTube. So if you need to jump off and you need to revisit this, we will make sure that everybody gets a link. My name is Carrie Paleo. I am the Director of Advancement here at Notre Dame Schools, and I will be helping you with your admissions process and helping you through that journey. First up, I'm going to introduce our executive principal, Mr. Roy Kane. He's going to be our first speaker this evening, and he is the principal over both the elementary, which is on Genesee Street, and the junior senior high school. So Mr. Kane serves in a variety of roles here at Notre Dame Schools. Mr. Kane?
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the faculty, staff, student body, and our Board of Trustees, welcome to Notre Dame Schools. Although this past year has introduced an abundance of challenges, Notre Dame Schools continues to press forward in its mission of providing a faith-based college preparatory educational experience. This is accomplished through the introduction of a robust academic curriculum and an enhanced 21st century technology suite, and a wide array of athletic and extracurricular events such as music and drama productions. Our goal, to develop leaders in their chosen fields of study while developing unique gifts and talents of each student. Through liberal arts. In many instances, our graduates are able to complete their freshman year of college right here on campus, resulting in a significant savings of time and finances. Course rigor, as well as specialization, has allowed our students and our graduates to successfully move on to Ivy League and other esteemed four-year institutions, as well as some of the military service schools. As I mentioned earlier, this year has been full of challenges, particularly in the face of COVID, the COVID virus. And many of you, much as myself as a parent, our number one concern is the safety of our young ladies and gentlemen, as well as our faculty and staff. We went into this year, our team went into this year thinking nothing but opening 5 days a week for in-person instruction. And I would say, looking at our track record here, over a half a year in, that we have done a tremendous job in achieving that goal. Our students, everyone from grades K through 12, have been issued technology. In particular, grades K through 12 are iPads. Students attending in grades 3 to 12, all with Chromebooks, part of our approach in case we did have an event where we had students preparing for remote instruction. We tried that plan. We've enhanced our servers, hardware amongst the buildings. I think you'll certainly find that the suite that we have on at either campus, both the elementary or high school campus, will rival any of the educational institutions here in the Mohawk Valley, as well as central New York. As far as precautions, immediate precautions for COVID, we also participate, every one of our students, in COVID screening, questioning, whether that be questionnaires or temperature checks before we even walk on a campus. And that pertains to students, faculty, staff, visitors. Visitors are allowed to go ahead and drop off stuff. We limit the exposure of individuals in buildings. We've also invested heavily in PPE, everything from detergents to clothing to other protective instruments that'll help safeguard your youngsters while they're here at Notre Dame. As I have always promised, we have always had an agreement, and I promised every one of our parents of safety. When that youngster gets off that bus, or when you drop that youngster off in the parking lot to come to Notre Dame, safety For that youngster getting back on that bus or getting off the bus at the end of the day or meeting mom and dad in that parking lot is our job number one. And we approach that. That is probably one of the biggest hallmarks that we have. We've also gone ahead and enhanced our physical security posture as well through the use of technology, available technology of surveillance, and also in-person security on both campuses. So our job here, not only to go ahead and provide that academic experience, to provide that faith-based educational experience and developing our young ladies and gentlemen, but also doing it in a safe manner. What I'm going to do now is I'll turn this back over to Mrs. Palaio, and I look forward to seeing you a little bit later on to address specific questions that you may have and or concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Next, since we can't be in the building together, I am going to share my screen and tell you a little bit from the faculty and staff why they think Notre Dame is the place to be.
The teachers are welcoming.
The loving faculty.
Excellent academics.
Lifelong friendships.
I love working at Notre Dame because our education is rooted in faith, we're value-centered, and everyone here feels like they're part of a family.
A welcoming community.
Faculty who care.
Because we can talk about God.
Learning with students who are like-minded.
Because softball.
I have the opportunity to express myself through music.
Because we learn about other cultures through art.
Hi. One great reason to attend Notre Dame schools is the wide variety of college level classes that we offer. For example, AP Biology, AP Calculus, AP Psych, AP World History, as well as Statistics and Anatomy and Physiology.
Because basketball. Making new friends.
Because we care about our community.
Because football.
Because we can be creative.
Because we get to wear school uniforms.
Because I have the ability to be myself.
Because I can take college level classes.
Because volleyball.
I love teaching at Notre Dame because art is open to everyone and we practice diversity in our program.
Notre Dame makes me a critical thinker.
Because I value my Catholic education.
Teachers who care.
I love teaching at Notre Dame because of the small class sizes. Everybody here is truly a family.
Because tennis.
Because I am very successful.
Because we love collaborative learning.
Notre Dame prepares me for college.
Notre Dame values my community service.
Because soccer.
Notre Dame makes me world ready.
I enjoy learning about my faith.
Because of mock trial.
I like teaching religion in Notre Dame because they can tell the students they should be the change you wish to see in the world, and we can mention God, and we can pray, and we can talk about morals, we can talk about how we help each other in the world and be a better person because of it.
The relationships you make with people. Notre Dame celebrates and embraces my individuality.
My teachers are engaging.
¿Por qué deberían de venir a Notre Dame a estudiar los niños? Porque es una escuela donde todo el mundo está bienvenido, la religión es preciosa aquí, los valores son muy importantes en la familia y la verdad es una experiencia muy grande. Aquí damos español, inglés, francés, otros idiomas y es una preciosa comunidad. Estoy muy agradecida de estar trabajando aquí y espero que ustedes también aprovechen la oportunidad de poner a sus hijos en la mejor opción. Gracias.
Because I love to be on stage.
3.
Because friendship.
Because of community and family.
Because bowling.
Because everyone is welcome here.
Because we are exceptional.
Because we can pray.
3.
Because hands-on learning.
Pourquoi Notre Dame? Nos traditions.
Because Notre Dame prepares me for my future.
Notre Dame is family.
I was just alerted through the chat section that maybe you didn't get such a good audio portion of that video, but you should have at least seen some of the school. I'm going to attach the video in an email to all of you so you can hear the wonderful things the teachers and students had to say. Hopefully the recording picked it up and we can get it in the YouTube replay as well. Next up, I'm going to introduce you to one of our parents here at Notre Dame. Her name is Carrie Patello. She is the mother of senior Luke Patello, who earned an early decision acceptance from Dartmouth College and received nearly a full tuition scholarship from the Ivy League school. Luke would be joining us this evening, but he has a pre-scheduled Zoom meeting with his incoming classmates at Dartmouth. Before Carrie shares her Notre Dame experience, I want to tell you a little bit about Luke. Luke credits his success to hard work, determination, support from family and friends, and the incredible academic, extracurricular, and spiritual opportunities afforded to him at Notre Dame as part of the reason he was accepted to Dartmouth. His senior year course load includes AP Biology, AP Literature, AP Calculus, AP Psych, Utica College Anatomy and Physiology, MVCC Government, Religion, and Naval Science. Luke is president of Notre Dame's chapter of the National Honor Society and has been a recipient of numerous awards, including Rochester Institute of Technology Computing Medal, Clarkson Leadership Award, the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame Scholar Athlete Award, Tri-Valley League All-Star Team Soccer, Notre Dame Athlete of the Year Award, and Notre Dame Scholar Athlete Award. Luke has also amassed over 650 volunteer hours since his freshman year at Notre Dame, mostly through his participation in our NJROTC program. As the operations officer of his NJROTC unit, he is responsible for all of the unit operations, including community service, which he has made part of his daily life. Luke's goal is to connect all of his passions to benefit our community to his fullest capacity. His love of service and science have led him towards the ambition to become a physician. Practicing medicine in an underserved population is his goal. At Dartmouth, Luke intends to major in biology on a pre-med track. I'm going to turn it over to Carrie Patello now, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her family's Notre Dame experience.
Hi, it's nice to meet all of you. You got me a little emotional, Carrie, when you were saying all that. It's really amazing to think back to 4 years ago, we moved up here to Utica from northern New Jersey, and we moved to New Hartford, and we were looking at the public school system and decided that Notre Dame was the right place for our kids. And it could not have been a better decision. I don't think Luke would be where he is now if it was not for Notre Dame. We also have a daughter in 9th grade at Notre Dame, so we're lucky enough to have another 3.5 years in this amazing school. Just to expand a little bit upon what Carrie was talking about, you know, she mentioned a little bit about athletics. One of the things we've loved at Notre Dame was Luke has been able to play on Notre Dame's varsity football team. When football was postponed to the spring, he and some classmates commissioned the athletic director, and they started up a varsity soccer team. So there are tons of opportunities for kids regardless of what they want to do. He actually was also on the varsity bowling team last year. So he's had an incredible experience being able to be involved in all of these activities. He's also involved in Notre Dame Student Council, Yearbook Committee, campus ministry, and serves as a peer tutor. The opportunities at the school have been endless for him. He also had the privilege of participating in the Colgate Seminar, which Notre Dame does. So basically, There are a series of them throughout the year where Notre Dame will provide busing to Colgate University, where kids take a class over a 4-week period. It's an amazing opportunity, not only to learn and grow as a student, but to also see what it's like being on a college campus. And that's been amazing for him. Through his participation in NJROTC, he received a full scholarship 2 years in a row for a week-long summer STEAM conference through Project Fibonacci that was held in Rome. He learned a great deal. His team actually placed second the second year in the competition, and he loved that experience. It was literally a week-long sleepaway camp that he was, able to go to for absolutely free. Through, as Carrie mentioned, Notre Dame's NJROTC and really our dedication to service. I mean, every student at Notre Dame, regardless of whether or not they're in NJROTC or just in other programs, is really taught the importance and the value of service. So Luke also volunteers 2 to 3 hours a week at the Root Farm in Sequoia. And he also is an EMT right now. So he's doing that. And all of this was really born out of the incredible academic programs that we have at Notre Dame. I mean, Luke took physics last year. This year he's taking AP Bio and Anatomy and Physiology, which is a college level class through Utica College, and is absolutely loving it. The preparation he will have for college is just incredible going to Notre Dame. To talk a little bit about our daughter, Lila, who is in 9th grade. She was actually able to make the varsity cross country team in 8th grade, which at most schools is something that would be very difficult to do, but the opportunity was there for her at Notre Dame. She's following in her brother's footsteps, playing or doing NJROTC, and is a member of campus ministry. When people ask me, particularly some of my friends in New Hartford, why my kids go to Notre Dame, the answer for me is very easy. Aside from the incredible academic opportunities and extracurricular opportunities and sports, the environment at Notre Dame is unlike any other school I've ever experienced. I know Mr. Kane talked a little bit about safety, and particularly physical safety at the school. I would also venture to say the emotional safety at the school is one of the biggest reasons we're here. It is a family atmosphere, a loving environment. The teachers know every single student and have relationships with every single student. The learning environment is one where, it's a successful environment for the kid that everything comes easy to and is doing really well in school. And it's a successful environment for the kids where things come a little bit more difficult, and they have a little bit of a harder time learning. Everyone is able to find success at Notre Dame. My daughter learns very differently than my son. She has been just as successful in the beginning of her 9th grade year from an academic perspective. And I know, there'll be great things ahead for her. We also, as a family, I would say, found our family at Notre Dame. I mean, I don't have neither of my kids play basketball, yet we're at every single basketball game. The school spirit is amazing. It's just so much fun to be involved on campus and in school activities. So, I highly recommend it. I'll be on the call as well if you have any questions you'd like answered from a parent perspective. But you look at, a kid like Luke who moved up here, didn't know anyone, was able to get involved in all of these different opportunities. And it's led him to going to Dartmouth College, which, we couldn't be prouder of him and of the opportunities he's been given at Notre Dame. So that's.
Thank you so much, Carrie. I really appreciate your insight as a Notre Dame family. I did have another video that I was going to play to you, but due to the technical difficulties, I will also upload that to YouTube and send you a link so you can look at a little bit more about our extracurricular, our athletics programs, campus ministry, and the arts here at Notre Dame. So we will skip that because the audio on video for some reason isn't working very well this evening on Zoom. I wanted to talk a little bit about the admissions process. You were all emailed applications for Notre Dame. Our tuition assistance deadline is coming up as of February 15th. So if tuition assistance is a concern for you, I urge you to go ahead and complete that application. It's very similar to the college FAFSA form. We use a program called FACS, tuition assistance, and the link is on our website, and again will be emailed to you in an email following this Zoom call. The application is also online. You can mail it in, you can come into school. We are open for visits by appointment only. So as Mr. Kane said, we are very concerned about the safety of our students and our staff and faculty here at Notre Dame, but we are making appointments. You would come in, get a temperature checked. and have to fill out a questionnaire to make sure that we can protect the safety of our Notre Dame family here, but also take you through and show you our physical space. That's something that we can arrange offline in an email or by a phone call. Additionally, we hope in the spring, if regulations are okay, we will do our shadow program that we have had for many years, where your student can come be our guest for the day and experience the whole day at Notre Dame. Again, that's going to be up to safety regulations, but we hope later in the spring that will be an opportunity for your students. So now I'm going to open it up to questions. So if anybody has a question, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. It can be something for me, for Mr. Kane, or from Carrie as a family perspective. We open the floor to questions. Does anybody? I'll give it another minute.
I have a question.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi. Transportation is a concern for, we live out in Deansboro. I do work in New Hartford. How does that work?
Okay, so Deansboro, I think, is a little bit outside of our area. Schools within 15 miles are required to bus their students, but I think that's outside of the catchment area. We do also offer our own buses from both Rome and Herkimer. So if you're an outlier that way, we do offer busing, school busing from the Rome and the Herkimer area. But Deansboro, I would have to check, but I believe that's probably a little bit outside the catchment area. Mr. Kane, are you?
It is outside. We had a family here most recently, about 3 years ago, that graduated, hailed from Deansboro, and there was no busing out to that extent.
Okay.
So, but 15 miles is the radius for busing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
Hi, my name is Carrie as well. This is the most Carries I've seen.
And I think everybody has different spellings.
Well, actually, so I actually feel like I maybe missed this on the website. Is there a language requirement? Do the kids take a language?
Yep. So we offer Spanish and French. And if you had seen the video, you would have seen both of those in the video. So you can get a little bit of taste of that. But we do offer Spanish and French as languages. There is a language requirement in New York State for our degree here. I know you're coming from
California. And Carrie, is it Putillo?
Patello.
Patello. Yep.
So I guess my question was for you. We would be relocating, and I have she would be a 9th grader and a 6th grader. So it would be coming into a completely new friends, new all of it, which makes me nervous. But it sounded like your kids, it was welcoming.
So you're saying next year your kids would be in 6th and 9th?
Yeah.
So literally that was my exact situation. My daughter was in 6th and my son was in 9th when we moved here. And it has been an amazing experience. Like I get emotional when I think about it because I feel like it really changed my kids' lives being in this type of school environment. And even the families, I mean, you know, I would talk to someone and they would say, oh, I know a kid that's in that grade, and you would literally get a call. I would get a call from a parent over the summer before school started. And I guarantee that will happen to you where your kids will end up having play dates or meeting up with kids before school even starts, because it's that type of community where there's a ton of outreach. And for us, I mean, it feels like this has been home forever. A lot of people, when I talk to them, they're like, wait, you just moved up here 4 years ago? And I was like, yeah, you know, it seems like a long time ago, but it's really, been amazing, not only how quickly they've adapted, but how quickly I've adapted as well in terms of friendships and meeting people. So, you know, I think you'll have a lot of success.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Carrie. Do we have other questions? I know some are joining us from our Notre Dame elementary families. So do you have questions about that transition process or? I'm just looking to see if anybody else is coming off mute. Before we go, Mr. Kane, would you like to offer parting words before we leave? And then if somebody else has a question, I'll kind of alert you before we sign off.
Certainly. Again, you've heard a testimonial, and that's an incredible piece of information to go out here. And you'll find that for my past 21 years here, that story is grown so familiar. The experience that youngsters have, I think also some of our greatest testimonials come from the students who have left here, and they've come back either 2 or 3 years later. As a matter of fact, one of those graduates of 2008 came back today. He's a radio and broadcasting personality who we now have teaching public communication skills. And that is not uncommon. We boast probably about 8 people right now, current faculty and or staff member, there are Notre Dame graduates. And why is that important? It's important because they know what the cloth is and the fabric of Notre Dame. They know that family atmosphere that was spoke to, as both Carrie's alluded to on that. They know about the small class sizes. They know about the one-on-one information that's shared between the teachers that you're available to do it. Our classrooms, for example, even right now for the COVID, we max out, we sit at 16, but even in non-COVID area, we still cap our classes between 18 and 19. Why? Because we want that quality interaction between the student and teacher. Additionally, we also have additional support, academic support, so what we call 10th period. It is not detention, but what it is an actual class that's built in at the end of the day where all teachers are available for any regimen or course selection a student in grades 7 through 12 would need assistance with. For those right now during this COVID area, we also offer that remotely. So for some of our students that are in remote instruction have chosen that for their own family safety, we still have what's, would be the equation of, or equate to college office hours, where students can go ahead and call in and contact the teacher at a specific time to get that extra instruction. Again, it's one of those things where our smaller size as compared to some of our neighboring public schools, we take advantage of that. And as was put out here again by both the Carries and everything, because we get to know each other. It's just not seeing faces in a hallway or faces walking out of doors or out on an athletic field. We actually know the story behind each one of those faces. And in turn, each of those faces know each faculty and staff member. It's a very, very good relationship on there. I know some of the, even though somebody may not have asked that, some of the common questions that maybe the kids have areas, things such as dress code. We do have dress code here on that, but I'll tell you what, every year I pretty much give an informal survey of students. And usually if we were to ask them as moms and dads, what do you think of dress code? Absolutely not. But when you talk to them on their own or when they fill out a sheet after, they love the dress code for a myriad of different reasons. One, I don't have to make decisions in the morning on what I'm going to wear. To those that are more altruistic, for example, you don't have to go ahead and some people don't have to be embarrassed by not having the great sneakers or having the newest Levi or whatever clothing is out there. So the kids love it. We try to go ahead. Matter of fact, this past year, we revamped our dress code. We're now with Land's End. It's very competitive in style, especially for our ladies. Why do I bring that up? Notre Dame, for those who've done their research, which I'm sure many of you have, started out as an all-boys school. And we turned co-ed in about 1975. And so the facilities, as well as our programs, as well as what we highlight, we have gone a long way to ensure that each and every one of our students, male, female, have all got equal footing here at Notre Dame. I think right now we're actually sitting at 52% female and 48% male. So a nice transition for Notre Dame. Additionally, we have international student program that's aboard. We also go ahead and have different programs such as supporting some of our local organizations, such as the Junior Commons. We have international students coming abroad for those studies. So we try to accommodate everybody. The biggest thing I would tell you, do not ever sit with a question. If you got a question, this whole community is surrounded with nothing but answers for you, and answers that you could verify, not some cheap slogan, not some cheap deal of a marketing campaign or something like that. You can come here and see with your own eyes and talk to anybody in these hallways, classrooms, athletic fields, and a lot of times even out in town. Our teachers, or I should say teachers outside of here, such as Utica College or MVCC or Hamilton, one of the most common things they say, you know what? Within probably 2 minutes of reading an essay, or within 2 minutes of meeting a student, we can tell you if they're a Notre Dame student or not, just by the way they write, the way they carry themselves, the way they communicate. That's all with a partnership with you, mom and dad, in a partnership that goes ahead and I think for the vast majority of people, like I said, over my tenure of time, has been nothing short of extraordinary.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Kane. If we don't have any final questions, like I said, I will follow up with those 2 videos. I'm sorry that the audio isn't working with video tonight here on Zoom, but that's 2021, right? So thank you so much for joining us. I will send out an email to all of you with those links. If you have any specific questions on the application process, things like busing, how to file financial aid, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you and assist you through this very important process as you determine a path for your child. Thank you for spending the evening with us, a little bit of your evening up with us. We very much appreciate it.